Next guest is an award-winning filmmaker who is taking global film festivals by storm. Yonatan Nir's new documentary tells the story of a man who saved Jewish children from the Nazis, but whose identity has remained a secret until now. And we are very happy to have Yonatan here with us. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. So, I mean, listen, you've done such incredible work, and I just want to know kind of how did your passion for storytelling begin?
Well, I started as right after the military service, I went traveling around the world, and my traveling around the world ended up to be a bit longer than I thought. It was about 7 years of traveling and working in different places in the world. And in the beginning, I started to write for myself and to photograph for myself, because I wanted to remember what I saw in my eyes and to share it with other people. Then I brought it to some magazines and newspapers in Israel and abroad, and they liked it. They wanted more, so I wrote more, and then I moved to documentary filmmaking.
Wow, really amazing. And listen, as a journalist as well, I mean, there's nothing more powerful than telling stories of people through interviews and through documentaries, and you've done a lot of work, but let's specifically talk about this film, The Essential Link, the story of Wilford Israel and the kibbutz Hazoreya. So who is he, and why do we never know about him before?
Well, that's a good question. I was born in a kibbutz named Kibbutz Hazoreya. In the center of this kibbutz there is a house called the Wilford House. It was founded by German Jews who immigrated to Israel in the 30s, and my grandparents among them. They built this house and they called it the Wilford House, but they never told us who was this man. They just said that he was a very rich man who donated his art collection to the kibbutz. So that was the story that we all knew for many, many, many years, until a few years ago when I found out that that was only a very small part. And
found out you were living in a place of someone who is kind of like Oscar Schindler in a different way, I mean, we can't make the comparison other than the fact, a similar story of people that we didn't know about until you shine a light on it. So tell us about kind of his background and what his whole... what he did for these Jewish children at this time.
Wilford Israel was a Jewish German businessman, but he was born in Britain in 1899. And it's important that he was born in Britain. I'll tell you in a second why. He had one of the largest department stores in Berlin. And his business was registered in Britain because he was British born. So when the Nazis came to power, they didn't want to deal with it, and they didn't confiscate the store from him, the department store from him. So basically, he was in 1937, 1938, very rich Jewish person, having a huge department store, employing 2,500 people in the center of Berlin. He had a lot of money, he had a lot of connections, and he used this money and connections in order to help Jews emigrate out of Germany.
Wow, I mean, and the fact, let's look at a clip first and then talk more. I'm looking at these pictures of Gandhi and all these other greats that he wrote down.
Who was Wilfrid? Where did he come from? What is his connection to the kibbutz? The kibbutz founders didn't say much, but they kept everything.
Wherever he went, he always met the most famous people, but none of them really knew him very intimately.
Wilford Israel was arrested here with the so-called Junge Werkleute. That was the further founder of the kibbutz Hazoreya.
Wow, I mean, Gandhi, Weitzman, I mean, seriously, Einstein, it's so... Did he want to be, keep his identity secret? Do you know?
Albert Einstein described him as the noblest man he had ever met.
Wow. I mean, coming from Albert Einstein, you don't get bigger compliments than that.
So the question, why was his story kept secret, is exactly the question that I'm trying to answer during the film, which will be actually shown in the UN.
Yeah, this is I mean, it's very fitting. I'm sure you didn't film this expecting it to be debuting, but here we are, International Holocaust Remembrance Day. You're going to be it's going to be airing here in Israel on Channel 1, right? And then you're going to be going to Vienna and Santa Barbara. Before we address Santa Barbara, I want to talk. I mean, your last film won awards in Santa Barbara. Yeah. My Hero Brothers. So this is a big deal, that you're invited back.
Yeah, I mean, I was very lucky to come across very strong stories, and actually when I make a documentary, I work on the documentary for 3 years sometimes. Wow. So the fact that they were released year after year is just a luck, but it's amazing to go twice to this beautiful.
You look like a San
film.
Diego boy. Like you look like an LA. You look like a California boy. So anyway, good luck, really.
Thank you so much.
We wish you the best of luck. And again, you can watch it on Con 11 on the 27th at 10:50 p.m. Did I get it right?
I think so.
And let's keep tabs on him when he gets back. Good luck. Let's win.